What's up, friends and foes? Lulu Soul here. I know it's been a little while, but speaking of a little while, a few months ago, I did a book review on the first 3 chapters of Centernia. Basically, the whole idea behind that video was I read the first 3 chapters. I gave a few of the predictions I had for what was coming up in the book series. I also gave my thoughts and my feelings of what was happening so far in the book, and just what I thought about the writing as a whole. And the whole idea was to do a vibe check kind of thing, right? You watch the first 3 episodes of an anime to decide if the anime is going to be something you want to keep watching. You read the first 3 chapters of a book to see if the book is something you're going to keep reading. I wrapped up that video with those predictions. I gave quite a few. And then I was like, if I finish this book, you guys, I'll do a follow-up video and I'll let you know. Here's the thing. I did finish the book. I totally finished the book. However, I got so wrapped up in that book, and by the time I finished it, I was, little squirrel brain, all right? I wanted to go on and do more different YouTube videos. I completely forgot to do the follow-up video. So if anyone watched that first book review video, and you've been waiting for what happens next, like, was Lulu right? Was she wrong? Did she like the book? I'm sorry, this is really late. Not too long ago, I remembered that video existed, and so here it is. This is the follow-up review. This is going to be a fairly short video because I'm just kind of talking about the rest of my thoughts on that book, so I don't want to give away too many spoilers. I want you to go and read the book yourself if you're interested. I will say that for my predictions, some of them were spot on. Like, I nailed that right into the ground. Some were just wrong, as happens. And there was 1 or 2 that was close to being right. Like, I was correct adjacent, but it didn't play out exactly the way that I had expected it to play out, which was actually kind of refreshing and exciting. As for what happened after chapter 3, I really enjoyed the book. If I had come across this book when I was in my late teens or even my early 20s, this would easily have made like my top favorites list of books. As somebody reading it in my 30s, I was able to enjoy it as like an almost whimsical fantasy story. But I didn't necessarily connect as much as I could have with some of the main cast because most of them, they're all in their late teens and their early 20s. The few adults that do exist in the world, they either don't get a lot of screen time or I didn't like them very much. And not in the way of like, this character was written poorly, not like them very much, but in the way of, you're not supposed to like this character. Or you're not supposed to like this character yet, because this is book 1, so it's entirely possible that the adults get more screen time in future books, and maybe you see some redemption arcs, which there's one particular adult that I would really love to see a redemption arc from. What about the world? I really loved the world of Centernia. I think I talked about this a little bit in the original video. Have you ever seen The Swan Princess? If you have, that mixture of whimsical fantasy magic kind of world mixed in with the more serious undertones, more mature storytelling, that's kind of the vibes that I got from the Centernia book. Because on the one hand, you have this magical fantasy land, right? You have cat creatures and you have kittens with wings and you have all of these fantasy magical creatures, and there is magic and barriers and spells. But on the other hand, it's a whole world, right? There's governments and rules and taxes. There are people who are poor and people who are rich, and there are very real world problems that exist in this fantasy world landscape. And at the same time, those real world problems get kind of mirrored over into our modern day actual real world because the main characters tend to be able to kind of isekai back and forth between the fantasy world and our modern day world, which also allows for one of my absolute favorite things ever. And that is where you have like a medieval fantasy-esque style world that gets mixed in with like modern day appliances. So you might see like a mechanical pencil on a desk or a CD player somewhere, though I guess those are a little bit dated now, right? Showing my age. All in all, I think the world building was very intriguing. I think it was very well thought out. And the book 1 ended so that book 2 can begin. So it ended on a little bit of a cliffhanger. I will give that much away. So I did say I didn't connect very well with all of the characters, but again, I think that has more to do with my age than the writing. But one of the things that I did love about all of the characters is pretty much each character has a distinct personality, and that made it easy to tell them apart when they're in scenes together or in scenes apart from each other. That's something I struggle with when reading sometimes, is I can't always remember who is who for how many cookies in a book. And this book did a very, very good job of creating like the different characters and whatnot. Now, I'm going to have all of the information about this book in the description box below. You'll have the author's name, you'll have the name of the book, you'll have where you can go to purchase this book if you'd like to read it yourself. Good thing about it is they have an audiobook section, so you can actually go and listen to at least book 1, I think, on tape now. And another really, really cool thing, you guys, about this author is she is also a puzzle artist. So you can get the books, but you can also get a puzzle themed to the book that she has designed herself. There's even a Kickstarter, I believe, for book 2. And that was really exciting to find out. As a puzzle enthusiast myself, that's just something that's so incredibly neat, right? Here's this fictional fantasy landscape that I can read in a book, and then here's a puzzle that I can do that it's really cool. More books should come with puzzles that you can do that are themed to the book. I'm just saying, it's a thing that needs to happen more often. That being said, I did say this was going to be a little bit of a short video, and I've kind of come to the end of this short video. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thank you guys so much for listening. I have been Lulu Soul, and I'm gonna go read some more books and maybe do a puzzle.